Fellow teachers, listen to this question or concern, as I may call it. Which correction strategy can I use, and as I make corrections with my candidates, then I achieve more or much from my candidates? In other words, which revision strategy can enhance performance? Which revision strategy can help learners to improve their science? Which revision strategy can encourage or aid memory of what has been revised in class? This is the revision correction strategy that is marvelous, that is miraculous, in other words, that performs miracles. What is its name? Open book correction. So open book correction is where a teacher will administer an examination or an assessment test, then marks the test. It can be individual test or it can be group work. Then after marking, the teacher instructs or guides the candidates to open their books and make corrections by themselves under the guidance of the teacher. What is something good with this correction strategy? First of all, it caters for all candidates irrespective of their learning needs or challenges. 2, why this strategy I would advise it to be used, or I would advise teachers to use it, is that it helps learners to learn or to make corrections at their own pace, and it encourages active participation or involvement of the learners during corrections. Another thing also, it helps learners to think independently, to make individual research, to think critically, and also it promotes effective communication. How? Because as learners are trying to dig in their books what could be the possible answers for the numbers they failed, they are sharing with friends, either in groups or with their neighbors they sit with. Something that promotes effective communication. It also helps to build the confidence of learners or pupils. In other words, learners will learn how to believe in themselves, because much of the corrections is done by the candidates. Now, what is the teacher's role during this revision strategy called open book corrections? First of all, the teacher is supposed to provide guidance. The teacher is supposed to facilitate. And the teacher is supposed to guide the learners, for example, where the answers could be, or how he or she wants these candidates to write their corrections. The teacher can also tell candidates to identify some questions that are somehow challenging. And this correction strategy, it also helps the teacher to know or to identify his teaching weaknesses or gaps. Because there are some questions, yes, learners will try to open the book to look for the answer for that particular question or questions, but they may fail to get or trace the answer or the answers for those particular questions. So that one will help the teacher to know during or when he or she is teaching, so as he or she can adjust his or her methods of teaching to match with the modern setting format. So dear teachers, I would advise you as I wind up to embrace this correction strategy, because at the same time it saves teachers time. In other words, the teacher will use little time to make corrections with the learners. So that means at the end of it all, the teacher is supposed to make inquiries or to ask the candidates to find out questions that learners have found somehow challenging in trying to get their corrections. So that means at the end of it all, the teacher can use like 15-20 minutes to make summaries, or to make some supplements or some subtractions, depending on his or her findings from the way or from the candidates themselves. Dear teachers, use this strategy. When you use it very well, you will thank me later. I just want to request you for one thing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, because a lot more is coming. I wish you the best as you watch this video. Thank you.